front. How are you? You all right? I'm preparing bags for the food bank. We've got a stock in the room around the back. We get donations.
Donations from where? Like supermarkets or individuals?
Individuals, church, supermarkets, some big companies. Every now and again they'll give us a big donation.
And you're laying them out on a table?
Yeah, and then I'll get my bags and I'll put 8 or 9 items in each bag. Usually a couple of tins, like a tin of soup, a tin of beans or peas or something, pasta, some rice. It really depends what we've got. And then on a Tuesday morning, from about 10:30, although some people come earlier, people will come in one at a time and see Sister Christine. And
Sister Christine is in charge of this community centre?
She's in charge of the project, what we call the project. And the project is the food bank and the meals that the peelers prepare each week. And they're delivered on a Wednesday and a Sunday. It was a project that came up at the beginning of COVID, and we thought it was just going to be for about 3 months.
And here you are, how many years later? Was it
5. Yeah, 5 years later. Lorraine and I and a few of the others have been here more or less from the beginning. Some people come and go, it depends what their life arrangements are.
And Leslie, why do you do this?
I worked for 40 odd years in public service in local government, so I suppose public service is in my bones. When I retired 10 years ago, I didn't want to sit around doing nothing, and I worked for 5 years in an animal rescue sanctuary. When that came to a finish, a friend of mine, Susan, told me about this project that was starting up, and so that's what I'm here for. And like a lot of volunteers, I probably get a lot more out of it than I give. That's what all volunteers say. We get a lot more out of it. The other thing to say is most of us are locals. We've all been brought up in this area, so it's about doing something for our community as well.
I'm going to get the sound of what's going on here. So this is peeling potatoes?
It is indeed peeling potatoes. Do it every Tuesday and Friday.
It's early in the morning. It's like just past 9 in the morning and you're peeling already?
Yeah, and we start earlier on Fridays at 8:30. Because they have the elderly people come in afterwards, after us.
You've got a big tray, you've got 3 trays of potatoes to peel. Mm-hmm. You've done a fair few already. How do you pace yourself?
I do it slowly, steady, and then someone else is going to come and chop them all up in, I think it's either roast or mash. Potatoes and that and things.
Roast and mash, so it's going to be cooked on site here?
It is in the kitchen now. They do it on a Wednesday and Sunday.
And as you're peeling this morning, what's on your mind?
I just come here to relax and have a cup of tea with the ladies. I've been doing it for about 1.5 years now. I stopped working about 1.5 years ago and I needed something to do to get up for in the mornings. So my friend introduced me here and I've come every week. I love it. I meet people that I wouldn't normally talk to in my everyday life and things like that, so I really enjoy it.
Tell me about the kind of chat you have here. What do you talk about? How do you pass the time of day? Is it anything and everything?
We talk about anything in life that's happened, or sometimes it's politics, anything, everyday life. What's going on in people's different lives and things and that. I'll just had a little grandson recently.
Oh,
so
congratulations.
Thank you. So I have him 3 days a week, look after him and that. My daughter's gone back to work. So I talk about him, I show my photos to the people.
Of course you do. Of course you do. Every time you come.
He's just learning to walk at the moment as well. So he's done 15 steps. So we're...
Every step is celebrated.
We're getting there slowly.
Oh, fantastic. Is he your first?
He is my first, yeah. He's my little star.
And I bet you spoil and rotten.
Of course I do. That's what nannies are for.
And Lucy, what else is going on in your life?
Not much really at the moment. I just
You got the grandson to look after,
Yeah.
you got the peeling to do twice a week. That gives you a structure to the week.
routine. I like a bit of routine.
What was your routine before?
I used to work in a school before, so I was up at 6 every morning and come home at 6 in the evening and things and that. So it was a long day.
Do you miss it?
Not really. I miss the children. I miss the little children I used to work with. And that, yes, I do have another little job that I do, but it's not every day. It's as and when required, which suits me to the ground.
And this room we're sitting in, I can hear the sound of joyful children
Yes.
from over a partition. Is there a little nursery attached to
There
this?
is. There's a little nursery here. It's called St Matthias Nursery, so they start at 8 in the morning, I think till 6 in the evening. So it's a long day.
So in this, I mean, there's a division, so we can't see the kids, and they're obviously doing their own thing, but it's all a shared space. Everyone can hear everyone else. It's kind of nice to have
It's
that
nice.
crossover, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice to hear the little children. And also, you can see the big pile of books over there as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We've now got a cupboard over there in the corner, which we're going to start doing a community book cupboard outside, so people can just come and help themselves to books.
Like a book swap thing.
Yes, yeah. Just they don't have to bring one back.
So keep it in the porch, so it's there all the time. Is that the point?
It's going to be outside,
Yeah.
so it's a metal cupboard, so it should be fine in the rain and things and that.
And you say we, so you obviously feel that we means you're part of this.
Yeah, all of us indeed. There's Lorraine over there, she's part of the book celebration as well, so yeah, we're all doing it together. It's a community.
I'm going to go and have a quick chat with Lorraine.
Okay.
Leave you to your peeling.
Do you want a coffee or tea or something?
I'm good, thank you. I'm all right,
Let us
thanks.
know.
Yeah, well, once the kettle goes on, I'll join in.
All right.
So Lorraine, you've got a bunch of cards there. You're writing birthday cards. What is this?
Everybody that gets a lunch on this project, or anybody that gets any help or support, if Sister can get their names and dates of birth, they go in her diary.
Oh,
And,
lovely. You are actually writing birthday
Yeah,
cards.
we make sure they all get a birthday card. Because for some of them, especially the very elderly, it's the only card they get.
And for you, Lorraine, do you live local?
I live local, I live on the Isle of Dogs, yeah.
And how long have you been involved with this?
I've been involved with this since the summer of 2020, as COVID hit, as the project sort of started up. I retired from work. I was assistant head in a local primary school, and I retired. And I thought,
So Lucy over there also was in a school. That's two of you from education.
Yeah. We worked in the same school. Lucy
Oh,
was a
did you?
TA in the same school. I've known Lucy for a long time. Yeah.
So you've known each other a long time.
Yeah. Sister Christine was actually one of my teachers in my last year at secondary school.
Oh my goodness!
I've known
this is
Sister
all
for over
connected.
50 years. Yeah.
So this proper community.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's the way why she can talk to me the way she does.
So if you went to school locally, and one of the other people, Sister Christine, used to be one of your teachers, you've seen this area through decades of time. Decades of change.
Absolutely. The whole community's changed. I mean, it's just the area's changed. I mean, if you look at Canary Wharf now, the businesses and that were there. My husband actually worked in the docks back in the day when there were docks there. So
Which there no longer are.
Yeah, no, there no longer are. So we go over there now and have a drink or a meal in a restaurant, which was actually, part of the docks where he worked.
So it's completely changed physically as well as the population.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. And there are sort of, my personal view is there are two separate communities here, because you've got Canary Wharf and the very affluent area and all the money, and then you've got people that live around here that are, really searching for jobs and struggling. Find it, you can tell from the food bank, if you go outside in about half an hour, there'll be about anything between 10 and 20 people queuing up for the food bank.
When you're walking here in the mornings, coming here, what are you thinking? How are you feeling? What are you looking forward to?
I look forward to coming here. This, for me, was a lifesaver. I was going to retire. I've always worked. Was ready to retire, no doubt about that. But was also terrified. What on earth am I going to do with myself all day? My husband had retired. He's quite happy at home. I'm not.
It's interesting. I mean, terrified is quite a strong word. You were
I panicked. What on earth am I going to do with myself all day? I just need something to do. And it was people to talk to. And over the years, I've made new friends. We've got a social group. We often go out socially. A group of us from here. We've done all sorts of things. Sister will have a little get together every so often, and we'll turn up.
It's interesting how you need something like this to meet people.
Yeah.
You can't just go up to strangers in the street and just say, "Can I have a chat?"
Yeah, that's true. You need to, and a sort of sense that you're doing something.
Right. So the doing is also part of it.
It's part of it, and sometimes I feel it's a selfish part of it, because I feel sometimes I get more out of this than what I actually give. Because, for 5 years now, I've had somewhere to come, I've had people to talk to. I've had a bit of therapy myself in being able to talk, moan and groan and talk to people like you do. So this, and peeling a few potatoes, is only a small part of it, really. It's what we do for each other when we're here as well.
Sister's being funny, she is. She said we've got no potatoes, so she'd go and dig up the field. Hello there, did you want me 5 minutes?
Why not? Have you got time?
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you.
You'll be there half hour now. Lucy knows me really well. Come on, Eva. Can we get that chair?
So what's your name?
Right, my name's Sue Blinman. Hello there. That is my granddaughter. She's been involved in it for a number of years, so every half term she comes here either Tuesday morning or Friday morning. She's done come over here, Eva.
She's probably got things to do. She's probably got busy things to do.
Exactly, yeah. So she comes over here, you've done peeling, you've done lots and lots of stuff. So it makes me happy that you see young children getting involved from an early age. She isn't the youngest now, there's lots of children younger that will come during the half term. So, yeah, but apart from being with my granddaughter today, we're just with nice people. We all come from different backgrounds, different expectations, but just get on with it, and it's wonderful.
Do you know everyone where you live? Is it open doors? Does everyone kind of like keep an eye on each other or not?
I am very, very fortunate. I've got my own house, and I'm in a tiny row of 6 houses it's just off of East India Dock Road. So of them 6 houses, we all know each other, because I've lived there, over 40 years. My neighbour moved in a year after I did. The people at the end, the mum has died now, but the son still lives there. So that little band there, we do know each other. And then Eva will say to me when we go up Chris Street, Nanny, do you know everybody in Poplar?
Because you're saying good morning, left, right and centre.
Yeah. So from that point of view, most of my friends have done what they call the white flight, either out to Essex or Kent.
So just explain that to people listening who don't understand it, who don't know anything about.
It's not a racist term. It is the majority of white people from the East End of London have moved away, including my brothers. I've got 3 brothers, and we were all brought up in Poplar. One lives in Leighton, one lives in Boreham, and one lives in Burnham in Essex.
Are you going to leave? You're going to stay?
No, I'm not going to leave. I'm staying here now. I'm around here 2 or 3 times a week, and if ever you're not going to do, Sister Christine will get you involved in it. You know, it's just that.
So you'd actually miss the sense of community here,
100%, 100%, yeah,
and that's what keeps you.
100%. I love it, you know, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I can see the downside of it, of course I can. But then probably I'm quite fortunate that I worked for Tower Hamlets Council for 30 odd years until I retired. I've got a nice house. My husband he retired last year, he was younger than me. So, we've got a nice house. I'm not lining up for a food bank. You know, how lucky am I? I can afford a caravan. I can afford, bits and pieces. So the poverty, when you see people coming in and out for the food bank, is quite upsetting. You know, the need. But from what you see on telly, it's not just this area that needs the food bank. I think it's like a general consensus that what's going on at the moment, people are in desperate need of a food bank.
When you were younger, let's say when you were a kid in this area, would you have seen the same poverty? Would it still have been there?
Well, see, the difference that nowadays, there is poverty, but we're all in the same thing together, weren't we?
So are you talking about a situation where everyone had less money and therefore everyone was equal? And the poverty that's here now is just shown up by the fact that some people have more.
100%. I mean, my dad had a good job. He was a stevedore, and in terms of like hierarchical structure,
what does that
he was a stevedore. He worked in the docks. You had the dockers and the stevedores were.
Were they the loaders?
They were like the crane drivers, the loaders, crane drivers. They were like the next level up. So, we were quite fortunate, even in that same structure that we were all in.
What about the argument that some people make, which is change happens in cities. London is a city that is dynamic. There's always changes in every area. East London historically has always been an area of change.
We had the Huguenots, we had the Irish, we had
and you can't stop change happening.
Yeah.
And you can't try and preserve what was.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that? Do you think you just have to roll with it, or do you think there's things you have to hold on to?
I like to think I can still adapt to change, still like to see change. Sometimes subconsciously, when I want to think of something, I think, hold on, don't keep harking back to the old days or days when this happened or that happened. So, I'd like to think whatever change could come, you've got to just try and embrace it, haven't you? You can't, well, from my point of view, things aren't going to stay the same. And they should change as well, shouldn't they? It's what it is. It is what it is.
Who are you after now?
Anyone. You.
Okay.
When you have a moment.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Get me over and done with.
Sister Christine.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know what happened to my tea.
So how does it run? What is this? Was it set up by people locally? Is it part of a network? Is it a council thing?
People like me, and it kind of coming together when this building was vacated. This building was vacated in 1975 by the Anglican community, who had taken it over from the East India Company, who actually built it in 1654.
Blimey, is it that old?
I know it is. Look at the coat of arms up there.
Oh, I didn't see that. So on the ceiling, there's an embossed coat of arms, and that's the East India Company.
India Company, the first multinational, which is great fun because you look across the road at today's multinationals, and they haven't given us much more than that multinational gave us. So.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So history is repeating itself. We haven't learned anything from history, I would say. Yeah, anyhow. So the Anglican community left here in 1975 because there were so many Anglican communities around, and also the demographics of the area has changed dramatically. We're now, I'd say, we're probably more Bengali from Sylhet, all from Sylhet, in
Is that a
Bangladesh.
place?
It's a place, it's an area in Bangladesh. And the largest number of Bengali community anywhere in the world outside of Bangladesh is in Tar Hamlets.
Is that so?
That is so, yeah. And a huge concentration around here probably because of housing and various other things. I would like to think community friendliness has played a part. I think it has actually. And then all sorts of things have happened. I mean, we had Derek Beacon standing, first BNP councillor in the country.
The British National Party. So that is an
anti-immigrant, absolutely.
Party.
And like at that point, you had the Bengali community going around, and you could see in their eyes, scared and kind of looking at me and people like me and saying, "Are you with them?" And thankfully, I mean, one of the things I am proud of, if that's the right word, but we got together with the Anglican community on the Isle of Dogs, with mostly females, got together and organised minibuses. I did workshops telling people how to vote, not who to vote for, but the process. So we got down there, got a lot of ladies down there, got a lot of people to vote who would never have voted before, and got Derek Beacon out. So that was, and it was mostly done by the females.
Why the women?
Because women care about community, and we're around. And we need each other probably more than the men do. The men think they run the show, but they don't actually. It's the women who run the show.
Going back to the mid-70s, when you took this church on, it was a derelict building. What were you doing here? Why were you here?
What was I doing? Well, I'm a community activist, I suppose. Not that I set out to be and have no training whatsoever, but because I live locally.
Oh, so you grew up in this area?
No, I didn't. I grew up in Ireland. But I left there when I was 17, so I've spent very little time there. But the thing is,
what motivated you at the beginning? Why did you first start getting involved in community events, community mobilisation? What made you an activist?
I'm a Christian, and that's the gospel. The gospel is to get involved, is to care about other people, is to get yourself out there and get yourself involved. It's not to stay and keep the message to yourself. I mean, it is definitely, that's what we're going to be judged by. I'm not going to be judged by whether I got an A level or a PhD or whatever, or got kids through, because I used to teach in a comprehensive school. I'm not going to be judged by that. I'm going to be judged by whether I cared or not. That's the only thing that, when I come to the end, which isn't that far off, no.
I'm sure you've got decades ahead of you.
No, I'm 88, so I haven't got
my
decades
Lord.
ahead. Yeah.
My goodness,
Yeah.
I would never have thought.
Yeah, well, there you are. See,
Must be all that community work keeping you young.
probably. But anyway, so it is all about caring, loving, whatever word you want to use, but it is about that. It's not about building walls, it's about building bridges. That's what it's all about. I'm very privileged because I live on Wilcox Estate, so all my neighbours are Bengali.
So are you talking about one of the estates nearby here?
Next door, yeah. And when we got this place, of course, the local white community was saying, we know what she'll be up to now. This will be opened as a mosque. You wait and see,
Oh, and really? So there was a lot of pushback?
Oh, yeah. Look, there still is. I mean, you can make a rule or a law about racism and all the rest of it, but that doesn't change people's hearts. They just shut up and they express it in some other way, and that's really dangerous. So it's about the more we share together, have a cup of tea together, talk to each other, you realise, hey, they're the same as me. What's the big problem? What is it? And then you realise, God, how people are stuck because maybe they haven't got language, or they're in overcrowded homes. Overcrowded homes are just despicable, and it's just so wrong in this city. And you're just talking to that little group there, telling them to get themselves to this consultation in Chris Street Market at the weekend, because Chris Street Market will become a no-go area to people like us. I mean, I'm one of us, working class, not working class, but the workers, the people who do the caring, the people who are on the 0-hour contract, the people just trying to get by, the people who come to food banks. I'm one of them, and I'm thinking if Queen Street Market is redeveloped so that the homes are gentrified and outside of our pockets, where do we go and live? And yet this city depends on us. This city depends on us to keep the roads clean, to wipe people's bums and look after them when they're disabled and frail and need a carer, to do all the sorts of jobs that nobody wants to do. And then we have the audacity to complain when our carer is Bengali and can't speak English. That is because none of us want to do those jobs. You know, so I get really cross. We do have things a bit upside down. You know, we're supposed to be the metropolitan city and show off to the world how to behave. We don't. You know, we had somebody come from Canary Wharf. He was a Sunday Times journalist, and he said, like, coming across the glass bridge to this side was stark, the difference between this side and that side. And that side, because now it's too concerned about building its own little city within the city of London, where you can work, live and play, and you don't need the rest of us.
So you're talking about a city which is becoming increasingly socially disconnected.
The disconnect is a big, big word today. Within families, within communities, within cultural groups, the disconnect between the young and the old, within, say, Bengali or African communities and families. Disconnect, I would think, that's the biggest word. It's about connecting. We have to do things to connect people.
I could hear the emotion in your voice earlier on when you were talking about the changes that you've seen and the lives that people lead. You feel very passionately about this. You referenced earlier on, when you started here, a time of deep division between the Bengali community and the British National Party.
Muslim community, yeah.
But you're kind of talking about the fact that there's a different kind of division now, but it's as strong, and that is a wealth division rather than a racial division.
Wealth and opportunity. You know, it is about opportunity. I was teaching in a comprehensive school in the 70s here, and most of the kids, their dads, their granddads, their brothers, had a job associated with the docks. All of that stopped, and suddenly glass towers go up, and totally different kind of employment. Was any research done to say, like they did with mining villages, to see what the repercussions would be economically and in employment? No. Something needs to be done, but investment has to be made. I've been to a few things with the council, and they're talking about bringing people together. You know, we have all this blurb. And then who will actually deliver it? No, they'll set up their own people. So it takes them 3 months to find out how we actually tick, instead of saying, that little group there, they work Monday, Wednesday and Friday, they've got a club, they do whatever, knitting or sewing. Gives them some money. Ask them to do something, to widen their thing, to make it more inclusive.
So use the groups that are already in existence, that already have the connections, instead of recreating the wheel, reinventing.
And paying people big money. You know, these consultants who are paid fortunes. So, like we have, like I was just saying to Lucy, tomorrow we're hoping to take some young people across the road to Canary Wharf. Made a contact with Serena in Canary Wharf, because you know they're building the largest life science laboratory in Europe across the road from us here in Canary Wharf in North Quay.
Okay, no, I was unaware of that.
I want, and I say to people before I'm 90, before I'm 100, I want to see people from here in there in good jobs. I don't want to see them cleaning Yeah, cleaning has to be done, but I don't want that. I want to see you in good jobs. You have the same intelligence people from Bristol and Russia or wherever who come in every day to do these jobs. For God's sake, why aren't you doing them? So it's opening the doors. So tomorrow we're getting a few people in, any opportunity we can to get people in the door. We did a job fair here recently, and at 12 good companies, nearly 200 people came through. So I don't know how many got a job. I mean, that's the whole, if we had more money, we'd follow that kind of thing up. There's a whole lot of things we should be doing that we're not doing. Right, you've had enough.
Thank you very much indeed for your time. I'll let you get on with your day.